And we are live tonight, and we got a really cool topic today. I mean, we are going to talk about what motivates you and me and pretty much everybody else to get into the comic book collecting hobby. It's the one and only Matt Woods. Joe, I just read your comment, okay? What a great comment. Joe, believe it or not, I saw your comment about if only you were on the stream. I tried to send it to you Instagram, but my IG is messing up at the moment, and the message is still sending. So I don't think you're going to get that message. But I did send you a message and an invite to come on to the channel tonight. But let's go see who has entered the chat, okay? Well, Boar, okay, from smoky Western Canada, the great province of Alberta. Way to see you, Brad. And Trev, the shipping guru. Bam. Trev, you should have never given me 2 stickers because I have the one. It's always on my desk right in front of me. And honestly, Trev, I'm thinking I need to do something with it until live stream and I see your name and I just got to show the sticker. But there is another sticker back here. So we got you, buddy. Who else? Oh, the great and wonderful OG Tina. Way to see you, Tina. My buddy Joe, the godfather of the comic book community, Brian LCS. What a good guy. People saying, oh, they call him Godfather. I think Trev called him Godfather. Just an amazing human being. And we have Comic Journey. Comic Journey does a great show, guys. It is Insomniacs, like up super late on a, was it Friday night or Saturday night? Literally, it was like 4 a.m, and I was really enjoying it. And it seems that I watch that show at 4 a.m. way too often. And speaking of another great YouTube channel, Collecting with Durs, which shows up on Sunday at 6 o'clock before the show. Adam always has great panel on there, great people, great conversations, just an awesome, wonderful YouTube channel. More people saying hi to each other. Brian is the absolute godfather. Yes, he is. Okay. So people are on here, and the topic of the conversation topic for tonight is, why do we collect? Okay. What motivates us to collect? And guys, there's a lot of different reasons. And I do want to hear some of your reasons for collecting. Please post them in the chat and we will talk about them. But I did a standalone YouTube video on this subject. It might have been a year ago, a year and a half ago. And there's multiple reasons, okay? Sometimes it's as simple as you just got them as a kid, you like to read the stories, and you just never threw them away. And then before you knew it, it turned into a collection, okay? And that's a legit one. Kenneth Bird is in the house, okay? People are saying hi to Kenneth. And Tina. Tina just likes to spend money, okay? Honestly, I think a lot of people feel that way, especially since the pandemic started, because prices have gone through the roof and you feel like you're spending a little bit of money to do this hobby that usually started out as just fun for people. But and I like to collecting expensive paper. There is something about that, and people are talking about the money. I truly, I'm sorry. I had a point and I was going to make it, but I just have to highlight this comment. I collect only Conan books to try to keep them out of Matt's hands. Well, way to go, but in fact, here they are. I ended up picking some raw books today, okay? So, Jackson, you can't stop me. But anyhow, we were talking about the money. There is an aspect of collecting comics. It's an exclusive, hobby. Finding a rare book, a book that it's hard to find in a certain grade, and there may only be 50 of them in the world, even though the book came out in the 60s and there was a million of them printed. If you can find one of those, we call them grails, it makes you feel like you are doing something special, like you are, somehow in an exclusive club. And guys, we're collecting comic books. It's old paper, as people say, okay? This is a book that I had not put away that I had last week. This is G.I. Joe number 17. Steve White has a full run of that. There are probably less than 1,000 people in the world that have a full run of G.I. Joe comic books. I mean, there really aren't that many that have a full run. I mean, a lot of us have them, but not that many. So it's definitely an exclusive club. And I think a lot of people like that feeling. Shop for Comics. Okay. Great to see you as always. And guys, I'm not going to lie. This chat is just moving on me. And if I miss a comment, please forgive me because I'm usually keeping up with it. But I got a little, I have my reader's notes that I'm trying to go through and see these. But, get on Spontics. It is a late show. I love those guys that are on there, Joe. Super good people. I've been on that show a handful of times, but they're just on really, really late. And they have a long show. I don't know if I could do 8 hours sitting on one spot. So my hat's off to Spontics. It's one of the fastest growing channels in the the comic book YouTube community. Great people. But I had a dad nap before the show. Okay. I hear you there. Anyhow, so a lot of that is exclusive and Comic Journey. I like that nobody has my weird comics. Now, which weird comics do you have, Comic Journey? I'm not even sure, but I will tell you something. We're talking about exclusivity. Guys, this is that Spider-Man. Is this number 7? The first appearance of Spider-Boy. It's all the rage. It's the hot comic of the month. Okay, it came out. I don't know when it came out, but it's a variant edition. Everyone's saying we have to get this one. So I don't know if that's true because I do feel that FOMO can not hurt the comic book collecting hobby. FOMO can be a lot of fun if you know how to not overspend. Okay. Oh, about 2.5, Matt. I missed that comment. Let's see it. It's about 2.5 now, Matt. Okay, but I'm not sure what you're referring to, Trev. But anyhow, FOMO can really get people where they can spend a whole lot of extra money. I picked this up. I was at a comic book show with a good friend, Milt, from @Flowers Comics on IG. Super, super good guy. And, I saw that book on there. It had the right price. I was absolutely going to go get it. But I was up till 4 last night because of Spontics. It's a great show. They really do crack me up there. And CJ stopping by to hit the like before running out. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you, CJ. Thanks for stopping in. It's such a good dude right there. And Comics Journey. I'm not telling you what comics I have because you're going to try and get them. Hey, that may be. I might get a little bit of FOMO just by seeing Comic Journey. And CJ the second. Let's see, Trev has. I'm giving away the first and second appearances plus the second prints of both the Virgin and one of my packages for next giveaway. Hey, dude, your channel is really growing, Trev. I see why. You got stickers going out. You got giveaways going on. You're a super good guy. You're super fun to watch. I can see it. But I have no attachment to Spider-Boy, but somebody might be. You know why I got it? There's a handful of comics in everyone's collection. Just a handful. Everyone kind of wants to get them, And some of them aren't like super expensive. Sometimes it's just Secret Wars #1. Okay, it was a popular book. You can pick them up relatively cheap. Spawn 1, the same thing. You can pick up a raw relatively cheap. A lot of people have them. X-Men #1 and Spider-Man #1 from the early 90s are just some of those books that are like, a lot of people have them. And honestly, that's why I got it. I'm like, whatever. I don't think this book is ever going to blow up. I just don't. Everybody knows this is a new character and everybody's excited for it. And if everyone's excited for it, everyone takes care of the book and they're all 9.8s. Is it ever really going to be exclusive? Is that ever really going to be worth a lot? I really doubt it, which brings me to another good point. Money. Listen, Reggie Collects had a video, and I don't like to piggyback off of his videos. That guy has his own channel, his own brand, but every now and then he brings up a subject that the community wants to talk about. And I believe the thumbnail said money is bad, okay? And I forget what the title of the video was, but that was the thumbnail. And you have people that say, oh, I would never collect comic books for money. That's not why I do it. Listen, I didn't start collecting comic books for money, and I still don't continue to collect comic books for money. But to say that money doesn't matter or the value of the books doesn't matter, that's silly. It really is. If there's a book that Steve White right here, if there's a book that you enjoyed reading as a kid and you decide to collect it, you're going to put it in a nice bag and board like this, bag and a board. Why do people put them in bags and boards? To keep them in good shape, because we all know the better shape it is, the more valuable it is. Because someday we all would love to have that book that's worth $1 million. I guarantee in my lifetime, this book will never be worth $1 million. But hey, we all have those dreams. And we would be really naive and honestly irresponsible if we weren't cognizant of the value of some of these books. Sometimes you buy a book when you were a kid, a Transformers #1, that if you have that book now and it's at high grade, the book's going for well over $1,000. Of course you're going to pay attention to money. Money's not bad, okay? Value isn't an evil thing. If you're a collector who cares about value, you're not being a bad person. You're actually being a prudent, okay, if you will. But, Steve, okay. Just got back from watching Guardians of the Galaxy. That is a movie that I am hearing nothing but good about. And I haven't got a chance to go see it. I've been busy lately, and it just seems to be I'm not able to get it. But I'm a school teacher. School's ending. I have 1 week to go till school is over. And I have a feeling I'm going to wake up one morning and go hit an early afternoon matinee. So I will go see that. So no spoilers, Steve. But so money is definitely a reason that people collect. And guys, there's a lot of quote purists out there. And they look down upon people that pay attention to the value, people that collect. Guys, I know collectors that don't read comic books. They love the art, but I think what they truly like is they like finding the big books and watching the values go up. And guys, there's nothing wrong with that. I would say there would probably be enjoyment for somebody to watch values go up. But the last year or so, values have not been going up. Values have been crashing. I'd say since 2021 was kind of a peak. So those people that collect for the value, they're probably a little bit nervous right now, okay? But let's see, Comic Journey. Why settle for millions when you can Van Gogh for gazillions? You know what? I can't argue with that, okay? But nice. So the voice is Steve White. And Steve White, hope to see it next week. Oh, what's Steve showing? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry, I wasn't following along with that. Road to a gazillion subs, okay? And you will not be disappointed, Joe, in Guardians of the Galaxy. Honestly, I think it's going to be a good movie. Everybody's telling me it is. Now, I was with a friend today, and the friend said to me, he goes, it's hard to be a collector whenever you've been collecting a long time and you've acquired everything that you wanted. If you were looking for the Silver Age first appearances, and not right now, those books are quite expensive. But if you've been collecting since the 70s, at that time, those books were not super high value like they are now. And you know what? If you have them all, what are you going to collect? Like, if it's kind of hard to find that niche. And some people, they start out Bronze Age, they work into Silver Age, and then they get what they want. I'm not saying they get every comic book out there, but they get what they were looking for. And then they're always needing new goals. I've hit into something like this recently. And guys, I don't have all the books I want. Trust me, I don't. But you need to focus. Or at least I believe that a comic book collector needs to sometimes focus their efforts. And yes, the channel, everyone in here, except for Jackson Roykirk, knows that I am a Conan the Barbarian fan. It's a niche book. It's very popular. Trust me, they sell quite a bit of books. It may not be a Spider-Man, Batman type of popularity, but Conan's quite popular in its niche little society. I have them all. I have all of them, and I'm continuing to collect them. I'm excited. Titan is getting ready to release a new series, Conan the Barbarian, here in July. I'm excited for that, but I have them all. So what do I need to do? I looked in my collection. All my early Conans I bought as reader copies because, guys, I didn't start out collecting comics. I started out reading comics, and the collector copies were just easier, cheaper to buy. And I bought big giant lots on eBay, and I had some of them in pretty decent shape. I had a Conan the Barbarian 24, a fabulous cover. Honestly, it might be my favorite cover in all of comic history. I pressed that myself, sent it off CGC for Roy Thomas signing. It came back in 9.4. Okay, and that was a raw book in my collection, but most of them are pretty low. I want to do a early Barry Windsor Smith cover. He did the art for the first 24 issues, not every single cover, but those are the books that I'm trying to collect, the first 24, but I want them in high grade because you can see behind me, I have some books on the wall. Well, right over there, I have a bunch of early Conans in high grade. At this comic book shop or show that I was at today, I was looking for some early Barry Windsor Smith books that I feel could get in a high grade. And so I picked up this one. This is issue number 16. I actually think with a nice cleanup press, that may come back a 9.6 or higher. This is Conan number 13. Same thing. This is a fabulous cover. I mean, these are unique. If you are a comic book fan, you realize that a lot of books are the spandex wearing superheroes. And yes, Comic Journey is right. How was the con, Matt? I'll get to can't even talk. I'll get to Comic Journey in a second. It was a show, and you saw who I was with. I was with Milt. It was fabulous, actually. But Conan was one of the top 3 characters in the 70s. Really was. Hey, Alex, how you doing? And I have not said that book yet. Give it time, Jackson. You know me. I'll bring it up somehow, some way. But so anyhow, these books, and here's another book. Okay. What is this book? This is Conan 14, the first appearance of a kind of a minor character, but keeps popping up, Elric. Okay. Now, Elric is not owned by Marvel. It's actually a different property. I forget which comic publisher owns the rights, but I think this book could come back at a nice grade. At least I hope so. So, even though I press my own comic books, I'm not a very good cleaner, so I don't clean my own comic books. But I sent one book off to Magic Pressing on Instagram. That's what he goes by. Amazing artist, if you ask me, to do what he does. So I'm going to send these books off to him, and I'm going to see if I can get a nice high grade so I can put them up on a wall as opposed to buying them slab. But Elric the Elder, okay? First Kulon Goth, that is correct. See, Comic Journey, you know your comic history. And Sindad, I'm beat. This week I've been building a local sheriff department's bomb squad truck. Whew, lots of metal and tons of wires. Absolutely, okay? Now, I know you're out in the great state of Nevada, and I imagine doing that work is probably going to be outside and probably going to be pretty hot. So, yeah, make sure you get lots of rest, buddy. But I read some Elric back in the day. Yeah, it's a good character. I kind of dig it, but Conan the Barbarian number 14, and he is on the cover. That was his first appearance, okay? So just cool little comic book history. Now, that's what I'm saying. There are different reasons to collect. It's a motivation. Now, I was talking to you guys, and some of you guys give me some of your stories. I met somebody that I've met before, but I met up with a friend of mine, like I said, Milt. It was great seeing him. I hadn't seen the guy in a year and a half. Last time I saw him, he was in North Carolina. It was just good hanging out with good people. And I really enjoy seeing what other people collect. And he was collecting all kinds of different books. In fact, he got a really cool book today. He got a Terry Toons, I forget which issue, maybe 50. I think it was from 1946. But that book, not only to have Mighty Mouse on the cover, it is the first appearance of Heckle and Jekyll. Guys, they were great from the Tiny Toons or whatever cartoons they were. I'm not sure if Heckle and Jekyll were Looney Tunes, not Tiny Toons. But, just cool history. Not even comic book history, just pop culture, cartoon, history. And a lot of us as kids, we would watch those on television. So, it's fun meeting people, okay? Milt has an awesome collection. Milt has an amazing collection. He has a great YouTube channel, okay? It's Milt's Comic Mansion. He hasn't put out a video for a long time, but it was really fun. He always had really good guests on there, and just a lot of them were family members, but they would talk about comic books. Really enjoyed seeing that. So if you ever get a chance, go check out Milt's Comic Mansion, and his videos are just fun. He just shows firebook after firebook. And honestly, he's like, no big deal. No big deal. He's pulling them out. A lot of them are returned from CGC. But I've met other people in this hobby. And guys, I can't name everybody I've met. In fact, I'm going to miss people if I start naming everybody. But, I met Gary B. last fall. My son Spencer and I, we were up near where he lives. And so I sent him a DM on IG and said, hey, care if we come stop by? And we had a fabulous day looking at a comic book shop, and we had a nice breakfast. It was just a good time, okay, with a good person. I've been to GarageCon out west. Got to meet a great young collector, Matthew Stiviletti, okay, who's an amazing artist, a nice fan, subscriber to my channel. Met him. Met Climbing Comics, Alan. I met the Bearded Comic Collector, Master Blaster. I met Coach T. I remember meeting so many people, and I'm probably forgetting so many. I met 2021 New Age Investments. That's his handle on IG. Just good people. And then North Carolina, met a lot of people. I met one of the people down in North Carolina. I traveled to Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, to meet up with Joe Anachrona Comics. Another fabulous day up there, okay? And I can keep going on and on with the different people, but my point is this. It's not just naming people. It's getting to meet some people, interact with them, people that you become friends with on social media. You get to meet up in real life, share stories, talk about a common interest. That is absolutely an amazing thing to do. It's just great. To me, that's my favorite part. Okay, it's going to meet up with people that I feel that I'm good friends with, whether I see them here on YouTube, and sometimes they're on my channel. Sometimes I talk to them on IG all the time, but I just never get to meet up with them in person. And this is one of those guys. Alex here, just a super good guy. The next time I'm out that way, I'd love to be able to run into him. But let's see. I need to find a con in the Cali area. I need to find a way to get some time off and wheel and deal for some missing ASM books. Without a doubt, man. Those early ASM books, everybody wants to collect them. And I'm talking to dealers. They say as soon as they get them, boom, they're gone. So that's just one of those books that a lot of people really, really like. But hopefully young Matthew will continue with his artwork. He has a definite talent there. In fact, I have some of young Matthew's art right here. I seem to have a lot of things within reach here in the comic book room. Uh-oh. What just happened? You won't believe what I'm looking for. I am looking. I bet you it's under here. Ah, here it is. It was a sleeper cell. I just have things at reach. My comic book room isn't that big. I think it's 8 feet wide and 20 feet long this way. But let me find. Oh, now that is. Oh, maybe it's still in here. I have some. Oh, it is. It didn't come out with the first batch. But young Matthew does a lot of great art. He did this one with another great friend of the channel, Randy Resnake. And which one did young Matthew do? Matthew did the Batman. Okay. The guy is just an amazing artist. It was great to meet him. I think he was like 15 when he drew this. Okay. Wolvie with Hulk in the claws. What else? I have some more young Matthew work. And this is another collaboration with Randy Resnake. Randy Resnake in his own right is a great artist. And another one from young Matthew. There's another one I have, but I'm not going to be able to find them all. This is kind of blurry. There you are, Uncle Sam. Okay. Yeah, this Spidey is just fire. Okay. Let's see. Voice superpowers. But, it's not just Matt Stivlevy that I like to meet. There's other people, okay? This came from Dave Bratton, nice, A-OK, awesome, to see. And where? You guys know I'm a Conan guy. Where is it at? Oh, here it is. Well, first off, my son is a Darth Vader fan. So what does Randy do a drawing of? He does a drawing of this. A lot of people seeing this art and loving it. Yeah, and there's just so many great people, but this Conan, guys, and I mean this sincerely. I'm not just saying it because it's in my hands. I'm saying it because it's true. This might be my absolute favorite Conan the Barbarian drawing, and it's kind of a little fuzzy there, but there we go. It's a little bit clearer. This might be my favorite ever. Okay, like there's just something cool about it. Conan in the snow, with the sword in hand, with the fur cape, and his hair blowing in the wind, which I imagine he'd be pretty cold, but I guess that's how Conan does things. Okay, so great things. And what is this? This was a portrait of me. Thank you, Madam Blaster. Okay, and that's a picture of my poor deceased goat Fireball. And you can't really see it, but it is a Conan book that he's eating. So, but showing all this cool art, this is just an example of meeting good people, getting to know good people that we interact with all the time. And yes, he said it right. That's incredible. Randy Resnake did the Conan. Now, Randy goes by the name RNER Medic or RNER.medic, something like that. But really good dude. He's seen he posts a lot of great art. Again, I don't like to piggyback off Reggie Collects, but Reggie has a lot of art from Randy Resnake. And when I was in Reggie's studio, and I was up there with Randy and his wife, we were able to go through and look at a lot of that amazing art that Randy has sent Reggie over the years. But little goat, yes, the goat was just chewing heck out of it. And Madam here and Steve White, the details, yes, the details on that Conan are absolutely fire and amazing. And Tina, RIP. You know what? Fireball, I mean, he's a goat, but he had a run of my property. Okay. I have quite a few acres, and I don't even fence my goats in, and they just stay in the yard, in the fields. I'll see them from my back porch, like up in the fields, go, eating up there, or they'll come down and I have some woods on the property, and they'll be in there, chewing leaves off the small trees. That guy had the best life ever, but I think I had him for 14 years, and I got him, I don't know, maybe when he was 3 months old. He was just weaned. He was part of the family for years, and he was an interesting animal. And this is a common way we can get on tangents. That thing would come up to you and pet you. He would rub his head, alongside whoever came by to pet him, and that's all he ever wanted. He wanted to scratch behind the ear and just to show affection. It was kind of a neat little animal. But good. Trev is already following Randy. Okay, good. I thought your question was, who is Randy? You need some Randy Resnake A-OK or OA. I would agree with that. He's amazing. So, we get to meet people. We get that's one motivation. We get to find an exclusive book. Okay, whether it's a ASM 1 that you find in a yard sale. Although I just saw somebody on Facebook today found a Iron Man #1 at a yard sale. So yard sale finds are out there. And if you guys, I think most people on this channel know where I got my Amazing Spider-Man #1. Found it at a yard sale, paid $1 for it. Okay. Those are rare, but they still do happen. In fact, like I said, Iron Man #1 was just found today. So, but finding those exclusive books, completing a run. There's a lot of collectors out there. They're completionists. They might like a story, but they want all of them. Steve White, right here. Steve White. Oh, I wonder how G.I. Joe would look from Randy's hand. That's a good question. I bet you could commission Randy to do something like that. I really do, because the guy is just super talented. But Steve White likes Mad Magazine. Steve White likes G.I. Joe. Yeah, Steve, I still have this issue on my desk from last week. I think I put the slab back where it goes. But anyhow, Steve likes to collect runs. So and it's unbelievable to me that somebody has every single issue of Mad Magazine, which started printing in the 1950s, all the way up to when they quit printing them. And Steve, put a comment down in there. How many issues is in Mad Magazine? And what year did it quit printing? I think it was within the last 10 years or so. I think I remember seeing the news story, because I hadn't bought a Mad Magazine probably since the 80s. But Steve loves them. And guys, whoever's bought a Mad Magazine or a Cracked, I remember reading Cracked too. That was a different magazine, pretty much the same premise as Mad, but just a different one. But amazingly funny. I mean, just goofy, off the wall humor. One of the great friends of the channel, Doug Bratton. Doug Bratton has published art and comic strip in Mad Magazine. I think that's a pretty cool thing to hang your hat on and say, yeah, I did some stories for Mad Magazine. Excellent. There he goes. And Trev, I'm blessed to have work from both young Matthew and Randy. And same here. Blessed is the word for it. So collecting a run, what motivates people to want to collect runs? Again, I think it's just that the hunt, going out and trying to gather all of it, because it's not easy, to find. Sometimes there's niche books. I was talking to somebody today about Tomb Raider. I have a full run of Tomb Raider there in the drawers, and I couldn't find 2 or 3 books, and I don't know why. I mean, when I say I couldn't find them, you can find anything on eBay. I mean, everything is there, but sometimes you're just not willing to pay what they want, and sometimes you just want to find the books in the wild. Or I have, I think, 2 Spawn books. I have a full run of Spawn, except for 2 books. Neither book is worth anything. I can go on eBay, pay $5 and get a mint copy. But I don't want to do that. I want to find those books in some LCS whenever I'm hunting out in the wild. So, but the Tomb Raiders, the handful of issues I didn't have, they were Adam Hughes covers. And I see why I couldn't find them, because they're actually pretty nice. Well, I was in Alabama 2 or 3 years ago, and I was at a comic book shop, and I was certain the back bins that they had in this comic book shop was amazing. What was the name of that shop? It was in Foley, Alabama, a small town not far from the Gulf Coast. But the back bin issues that they had was just absolutely stunning. And I think I picked up 3 issues of Amazing Spider-Man 110. But they also had the Adam Hughes variants of Tomb Raider. There was a little bit of satisfaction whenever I collected those. In fact, I did a YouTube video, and I think I started out, it was just an IG video, but I ended up posting it on Instagram, or forgive me, on YouTube. And it was, the orientation was wrong, but early YouTube blunders. But in that video is when I realized I was missing 3 issues, and it was those Adam Hughes covers. So a few months later, I was able to find those in the wild. And there's a legit sense of satisfaction whenever you find those rare books, and you can complete that run. It doesn't mean you're done collecting. It's just you completed that step. And now you're like, all right, I'm going to move the bar and I'm going to start hunting a different series. But that is a legit motivation for a lot of people. And okay, Mad still prints from DC, and they're still printing Mad magazines. I did not know that, and I think that's really cool. And they are well over 600. So you guys can do the math. Not really math. There's a number there to figure out that Steve has at least this many Mad magazines. But DC is just reprinting the old stories. Well, Steve, when did Mad quit publishing new magazines, or new material, I guess, if you will? But that's amazing. Well over 600. I mean, you think about it, once a month for 10 years, that's 120 issues. To get to 650 ish or 50 years, you're going to have exactly 600 comic books. So that's quite a bit of Mad magazines, which is funny because Amazing Spider-Man, they're in the 900s now. Let's just do the math. It came out in 1963. Well, it's 60 years later. That's only 720 issues. So they, for many, many months and many years, they printed more than 1 issue a month. I think there for a while they were doing 1 every 3 weeks. And then I remember in the early 2000s, I think they were doing it twice a month. And I remember the storylines at the time. I wasn't a big fan of Amazing Spider-Man, but there is that. And guys, honestly, sometimes the motivation, people don't know it. People have no clue why they collect comic books. And I don't mean that like dismissively. I mean, they collect, they enjoy the hobby. But if you ask them to truly tell you what got them into the hobby or why do they continue to do it, they really don't have an answer for you. Those people are still enjoying the hobby. They are still legitimate collectors. And I don't believe in that term, the legitimate collectors, because I think whatever your reason for collecting is a valid reason. It's a personal hobby. You can't go wrong with a personal hobby. But some of those people, they really don't know. They have enjoyment whenever they come across a low-grade copy of Fantastic Four number 48, which even in low grade goes for a decent amount. But they enjoy the hunt. They enjoy the collection. They enjoy looking at the art, enjoy reading the stories. But why do they continue to do it whenever those same people sometimes read books online and never need to collect an actual floppy book. I keep on showing this book, but remember I told you some things are just within reach. Here you go, Trev. Got to keep on showing it. But, and honestly, that in itself is a motivation, because whenever you say they don't know why, they collect because they enjoy it, which is at the bare bones, that should be everybody's 100% reason that they collect. If you're not enjoying a hobby like that, I don't know if you're doing it right. But next time, I actually think, and I don't want to say this, but I'm thinking, I don't want to say the name. I'm thinking of somebody to ask on the show for next week to expand upon this and talk about why they want to collect. In fact, I might ask a handful of people to come onto the channel and talk about why they collect or what got them started. But guys, I'm going to end up wrapping this show up. This was an amazing chat. You guys, I mean, honestly, had me rolling with some of your jokes on here. But, you forgot the sticker, Joe, I have one right here. Maybe I'll mail it up to you, okay? Joe has different places across the country that he calls home or lays his head down. So, but anyhow, guys, I really do want to thank all of you guys for showing in today. I want to thank you for all your comments, and I want everybody here to have a great night. So, guys, we're starting the week off. We'll see you next Sunday, same time, same bat channel, same bat time. So you guys have a great night.